But I'm going to rain on the Knicks parade. How about that for a segue? Okay.
Hey, wait. Make sure no Knicks fans around. They might have some bags of trash and want to go upside your head.
It's all right. They can be mad all they want. I don't know. And game 2 is going to start within the hour, I think. Was it 8 or 8:15? Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Eastern. And I don't know how they overcome what happened in game 1. And I know it's only one game. You got to win 4, all that kind of stuff. And I've heard all the stuff that goes with it. But that is one for the ages. Like when you talk about losing a game, that's not a 20-point lead in the second half. There's a big difference between the two. And in the NBA with the 3-point shot, it makes a difference on how some of these games can turn on a dime. And I know you talked about how great the Pacers were, but I still think, and I'm just bringing this up because I still think while you were praising the Pacers, and I get what they did as far as the shots and all that, I mean, Jalen Brunson, when they did the breakdown, he was 1 for 3 and 3 turnovers in crunch time of that game. Like that's what, like that's your guy. You were talking about like doing something. And what did the Knicks do wrong? They shot 50. Well, that 3 turnovers in crunch time when it's ball game winning time is what happened. But my point is, if the Pacers didn't already have confidence in beating the Knicks, they beat them last year in Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. I don't know what else. They have been unbelievable. No game is out of reach for them. Every time you think that, they're going to lose or they're going to move, whatever, we talk about their road record, everything. I'm picking the Pacers tonight. I am, even though everybody and their uncle expects the Knicks. Oh, well, the Knicks aren't going to lose another game. There's no way they're going to do that again. I'm going to pick the Pacers because I believe this series is over. I do not believe the Knicks are going to rebound from this. And I'm not saying they're going to get swept or whatever. Maybe they might win a game or whatever, maybe 2. But I think that was so demoralizing. And it also energizes Indiana in knowing, man, we won one for the ages. And we accomplished what we needed. Now they could go for the jugular tonight.
Well, I think we're on the same page. I picked the Pacers to win this series prior to because I just think the offense, the pace they're playing, the confidence they're playing with.
I just thought you were mad at the Knicks because they beat the Pistons.
No, but watch how I flip it. I'm about the Simone Biles with the flip. But this is where I don't agree with you. I don't think if they lose a series, which I predict them to lose a series, it will have anything to do with the loss 2 nights ago. I think just the Pacers, are playing better brand of basketball. I think their offense and I think the legs will eventually give out as they usually do with a Tom Thibodeau-led team. So I think those things will weigh heavier into the factor why they lose a series. To me, the reason I don't count the Knicks out yet, eventually I think they will lose, but the reason why it won't be because of that and why I don't count them out is because of what I've seen from the postseason, Rob, the whole postseason from everybody. I'm talking about the Pacers coming back against Cleveland, being down big, being down 20. They stole a couple of games. I'm talking about what the Knicks did to the Pistons. Pistons thinking they're going to win, and the Knicks go on a 20-0 run. The Knicks won 3 in Detroit. The Knicks go to Boston, win the first 2 in Boston. Then they win Game 6 as well. So to me, I'm looking at a Knicks team that has known nothing other than to just keep chugging along, to just keep chugging along, to just keep chugging along. And I think they're built that way. Because when you look at the roster, there are a bunch of Iron Men type dudes. Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, literally the Iron Man of the NBA right now. Jalen Brunson, just keep going, keep chugging. Mitchell Robinson, just go do the dirty work. And I think they find themselves in positions where they can just keep going, and you look up and you're like, why is this series 3-2, Indiana up 1, but we're going into Game 6 where you never know. And so I look at them, the way they've come back from games with 20 points down against the reigning champs, the way they were able to come in and out of games. You'd be disappointed in them in game versus Pistons, and in that same game, they can find a way to close it out and be clutch. And they have the clutch player of the year. Obviously, the Pacers have one as well who's been spectacular in Halliburton, which, by the way, I should show you, send you guys this video, hilarious video of him playing basketball like Steve Urkel in that episode where he can really hoop. It's freaking hilarious. But I don't think the Knicks are out because of that game. If they lose, I just think they lose to a better team. I think if there's a team that can just stay in it and find a way to scrap and claw and make it a real series, it's the Knicks. They've shown that literally all playoffs long. And all playoffs long, we've seen series after series, even on the West Coast. Teams come back when you think the game's over, when you think the series is over. So to me, this would just can be par for the course if we're in for a 6 or 7 game series.
See, where I'm disagreeing with you is they got the game they've been waiting for from their stars. At home, where they combined for 78 points, a 43-piece with a biscuit and a 35-piece. Like you're supposed to win that game. This is my point. I don't know if they're going to have better games than they had in game one combined. 78 from their 2 stars, and that was a L. And that's what you're afraid of. I don't look at the Pistons series as anything because the Pistons hadn't made the playoffs in years, their first go-round. Okay, they did win the 2 games in Boston. I'll give you that. That was more of an indicator of them coming back in those games. But also, as you talked about before, was it the Knicks or was it Boston missing 75 threes? Okay, because we talked about it. The Knicks didn't play that great in that series in the first few games. Would you admit that until the last game when they closed it out?
But here's the thing, Rob.
So that's part of what I'm saying is Indiana, which you gave all the praise for and how great they played. Mm-hmm. I just feel like they have a mental edge here now. They really do going forward. And giving up home court when New York was a buzz. Oh, my God. Guess who's standing in the way of us going to the NBA Finals for the first time in 25? Oh, Indiana. You know what we just did? We just knocked off the NBA champs. Are you kidding? There's no way we're not going to the championship. Really? And then you have a great game, a 14-point lead, and that thing go up in flames. That is tough to overcome.
The thing is, they literally have been better on the road. That's the crazy part. They got 3 in Detroit, and those were all tight, tight games. They were able to win.
But the Pistons hadn't played a playoff game in 6 or 8
right.
years.
But what I'm saying
is, like to me, that's not an indication that the Pistons.
But this is where I think I get what you're saying. But why I think it is an indication is because those are easy games to give up and let them sneak up on you. Oh, we didn't see them coming. They were able to close those things out. They go to the Celtics. They're able to close those things out. And I just think they're built that way where they just keep coming. They just keep fighting. And I think they look at this series as the same way. They like to be the back against the wall. I also think them playing at that high pace where you got 78 from your top 2 players is not the way they play and would rather not play that way.
Well, but they were up by 14 with 2 minutes to go. How is that not a bad? How is that a bad game plan?
Because they can't sustain that to win a 4 out of 7. I don't think they can beat the Pacers at the Pacers game.
I'm not saying the whole way through, but wouldn't you say if I told you before the game started that those 2 would combine for 78?
Yeah, you want that, but I think the lesson learned after that is the pace of play, the way we play, we can't do that again. So I just don't think this series is over simply because of that. I picked the Pacers to win in 6 or 7, but I think the Knicks are the team right now that can just find their way in a game 6 or 7. You go, well, where the heck did that come from? And they just have the guys that are just going to keep their head down and keep fighting. And I give them a lot of credit for that. They're not an overly most skilled team, the most, deep team. Like everybody else is kind of deep in the playoffs right now. They're the least deep, they have the least depth, but they just keep fighting. And a lot of that comes from their leader, Jalen Brunson. He doesn't quit, give up. And the makeup of the Villanova boys and Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges as well. Rob and I are talking about the Knicks and the Pacers game 2, happening a little bit later on today. Rob believes it's a wrap. That game was too much for the Knicks to overcome. I feel like the Knicks are going to lose ultimately, but it won't have much to do with that collapse. 877-99 on Fox. Taking some calls. Who we got?
Lord have mercy. It's Jesus in Seattle. You're on the Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to comment really quick on how Game 1 went, but really more so big picture, how the entire playoffs have gone. I believe this Knicks team has been grossly mismanaged by Tom Thibodeau. I think this is a loaded roster who has a lot of chemistry, and they play great together. Just the rotations, the defensive sets, I mean, really all the above. I think regardless of the outcome of this series, which I think the Knicks will ultimately win, but regardless of the outcome of this series, I think you're going to have to move on from Thibodeau if you're the Knicks after this year.
Okay. There you go. So you're thinking the Knicks are going to win, but you need a new coach. I got you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Kevin in Culver City, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Kevin?
God is good.
Always, my man. Always.
Hey, you got it. Rob, you are right on this one. I've seen so many basketball games. Unlike football or baseball, it's hard to come back from a demoralizing loss like that. And the ironic thing about it was the Knicks just did that to the Celtics in the last series when they blew the 20-point lead. 20-point lead, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in that game. You got to win it. You got to finish. And then the choke gesture with Halliburton and Reggie Miller there, I mean, it felt like 1994 all over again. You know, Spike Lee was at Cannes, but he felt it all the way over there overseas.
And Kevin, I was at that game. You know, that Reggie Miller game. That's one of
my God.
When I put down my top 10 games in my career, my 39 years, that's in there. Yep.
Kevin.
Oh, my gosh. Yep.
Kevin, first of all, you know, all the time. I didn't get to say all the time to you. My mic was tripping. All the time. But let me bounce back and say this. But from everything you've seen, not only through the Knicks, this entire postseason, every team, the way you had teams in the West Coast or Western Conference come back, we've seen it in the East Conference. Why do you think it's over when, okay, they lost and they let a team come back?
Why didn't the Celtics come back and win, even though they lost at home in those games? They could have won.
Well, I mean, them losing their best player did not help the cause, Rob.
Before that.
No, they were getting beat without a doubt. But that's what I'm saying. Even that, to your point, that was the team we all picked to come out of the East. The Knicks beat them, even with Tatum. And everybody's like, oh, it's over because of one game where they were up, dominated.
Because they gave the Celtics, you choke a 20-point lead 2 nights in a row at home. That's what turned this
No.
series.
I'm talking about the Knicks. I'm saying the Knicks were able to do that to the best team in the East.
Yeah, but
why lose one game to the Pacers? Now we're like, oh, it's over. I don't get it.
Yeah, that loss is for the ages. That's all I'm saying. Andre in Massachusetts, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dre?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for taking the call. First of all, my New York Knicks are going to bounce back tonight.
You hope so. Otherwise, you'll be crying in your beer tonight in Massachusetts.
Okay, yeah, there might be some tears shed, but I have to address. Everybody has the right to their opinion, Rob, but everybody don't have a right to their own facts. So I got to address this Tom Thibodeau slander that's out there. It's not just the callers, but it's out there in the world. 3 times Tibbs been voted the coach NBA players would least like to play for. That's what the players voted. Yep. And where are all those players right now? They're out in Cancun. They're gone fishing. Okay, they're not in the playoffs. They're not in the mix. Okay. So all this slander for Tom Thibodeau, first of all, keep that same energy when my New York Knicks make it to the NBA Finals. Keep the doggone same energy because he done brought prosperity back to New York. Where were the Knicks before he got there, and where is he now? He done brought prosperity. Now, back to the question. You got other calls.
This is a spicy Dre.
We're up against the ropes. We're up against the ropes. But my New York Knicks, under the capable leadership of Tom Thibodeau, they got to finish the game and get this W. You don't want to go down 2-0 to Indiana. This team is dangerous. So we got to get this win. I think we're going to, and I'm keeping the receipts on the Thibodeau slander. Can keep that same energy. That's all I got to say. Thanks for taking the call.
Hey, Dre.
Yes.
Can we do a 10-piece or 20-piece of Wingstop on this Knicks Pacers series?
Rob, it's got to be a 20-piece. I'm putting the 20-piece. I have the Venmo ready on my New York Knicks.
Let's do it.
Okay, that's the confidence that I have. Okay?
20-piece, no doubt.
20-piece on the Knicks. Let's get it done tonight. Thanks for taking the call.
All right. Appreciate that.
First of all, you know we love some Dre, but Dre's got to relax, Rob. He acting like Thibodeau is in Game 6 of the NBA Finals.
He's been coaching for 20 years. I've been waiting for the championship that he's talking about.
Right. He's got to absolutely relax. He's acting like we're talking about somebody who's got 2 rings up in this thing.
No